hydrogen is something that I've been working on for the last 20 years or so. But in hydrogen, the most expensive part is actually the fuel cell. So manufacturing of green hydrogen is not big, it's pretty trivial. So we have so many different researches that has been done to manufacture the green hydrogen. So Sri Lanka is blessed because we have a lot of fresh water, right? So if you go there and see what happened in Kuwait and Qatar, they are trying to make green hydrogen. So the Jinko guys are telling me, it's surprised Harsha what's happening in these countries. So they are trying to manufacture green hydrogen and send it to Europe, right? So I asked them, where do they get the water from? Right? So they get the green hydrogen using solar, but they had to desalinate the seawater to get the fresh water. They use the oil to desalinate, and then after that they use the green hydrogen after, right? So it's a very costly process, and I said, why don't you ask them to come here, we'll give you the fresh water. Right? So we can charge per liter X amount of money, so you don't have to spend that much of money, you can ship it to Europe if you want. So they are very ambitious target in Gulf. They are trying to buy every single technology company as much as possible in Middle East countries because they want to control, because they know that the oil is going to run out in about next 8 years to 10 years maximum. It's going to run out. So they know that they want to reinvest on wherever possible. So one idea is to see that you send the cars and we send the hydrogen for you. So now their biggest problem is like in hydrogen is the fuel cell. Fuel cells are today manufactured using platinum, right? So platinum fuel cells are quite expensive because 5 kilowatt will cost you about $16,000, $17,000 or so. So we've been doing a research work for 1 year or just over 1 year or so, trying to replace the platinum with another patented material. So if that one works, we can put the price down to about $2,000, $3,000 for 5 kilowatts. So if that is the case, the storage of hydrogen is not a big thing, it's already there. So the hydrogen fuel and hydrogen cars will come on. So if that one become pretty stable, you can still keep your own car, battery car. All what you do is like replace the battery with a hydrogen tank, because the rest of the electronics, etc., the power is exactly the same. So once you go into electric, where the electric comes from, whether it's coming from hydrogen or whether it's coming from batteries, doesn't really matter. So if it comes from hydrogen in the future, because this fuel cell will last for a long time, and batteries will last for about 10 years or so, and then you need to replace it. But I think in 10 years, they will come up with some much better batteries. So I think what the answer to the Chaminda, one other thing is like when you bring the batteries, his concern is, I think is very valid. And for me, answering is pretty biased as well, because we actually been working on batteries every single day. Every day, I must have spent about 50 million rupees just burning the batteries. Just to burn them and just to do the cycling, and they would not do whatever that they are saying. The manufacturer doesn't even know that their batteries have these kind of problems. So we have batteries from Korea, we have batteries from Taiwan, we have batteries from China, we have batteries from US. So many different places now starting making batteries. But the Chinese, when you come to the batteries, whatever they are saying in the spreadsheets, it doesn't work. So if they say it's going to do 2,000 cycles, you'll be lucky if you do 1,000 cycles. So don't forget the fact that those are very new technologies. Lithium ferrous phosphate is pretty new. So that when they come to it, that they used to have something completely differently, NMC cells, which has a very high spec. And don't also forget the fact that much better batteries are yet to come as well. Within the next 2-3 years, there will be much better batteries than lithium will come as well. So when you have those batteries are coming into play, and whether it's a hydrogen or batteries, it doesn't make much of a difference, because majority of the other parts are already there in the car. So all what you're doing is like in about 5-6 years' time, you just take the battery off and put the fuel cell in there, if you want it to. So that is how easy I think it is. And lastly, and I want to add something, is that, it's I think last few months or few years, It sounds like a roller coaster to all of you, but I think for me it's like a blessing in disguise. So basically, when we could not move without any, because of Corona, if you go there and look at the environment, it was like completely carbon free. So that actually shows that majority of the carbon, or 99% of the carbon, is produced by the vehicles. Right? So if you see our carbon or the particles are actually gone down to about something like it matters should be about, we were on about 160, 240 and that kind of thing. It went down to about 20, 15, 10 kind of a level. So, and then that particular period, 2 years, we protected the environment, right? And then secondly, what we did was we had the fuel crisis, and then the people are trying to use fuel, economically and trying to use as much as possible. And then they realized that let me try to get an e-bike and go to work, and let me try to get something electric and go to work. And they always pack up some kind of batteries and put a motor and they can go to work. And that is Sri Lanka. So as soon as you get the fuel back again, everybody back in partying, right? So before they will surviving, and don't tell me none of them, everybody survived everybody survived with the Corona, everybody survived without the power, everybody survived with everything, because we had the basic things. We had the water, and we had the sunshine, we have all the basic things, right? But if you go there and see how our utilization of fuel, so you go and drop the children, come back, you go and buy a loaf of bread, come back, and you realize I won't have a vade, and you go back again, come back. And likewise, you take this whole thing as granted. If you go there and have a carbon dioxide, this counter on your shirt or something, you say, my God, you are killing me, and nature will be alarming you. So most of the time, we are trying to unnecessarily use our resources for completely no reason. So for us, if you go down to that particular level when you had the fuel crisis, I think Sri Lanka would have kept it like that. And every single person will come up with some solution. They will come up with at least two solar panels, and they will come up with a little battery to go, because I know that I can go to school with a little battery, right? So when you have the little battery, so Sri Lanka can last with about 5 to 10 kilowatt battery. Right? We don't need something more than that. Everything more than that is actually, we call it luxury, but I think it's stupidity. Because why do we put something much heavy, bigger, and take up the most of the space in the roads and all that, when you can go in a very small vehicle and have the same fun? Last night I was in the tuk-tuk, and the electric tuk-tuk goes around in Colombo, and just parked at Pila Woods and had some food at the back and just had a good joy there. And actually I was tuk-tuk, you can sleep at the back as well. So you can sleep in the thing, and Sri Lanka in that way is extremely lucky, because we can't die out of food. Because we have plenty of fresh water, and we have sunshine all the time. So if you grow beans today, within about a week or so, 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we have beans, And if every single one of us grow a jack tree and a coconut tree and a mango tree on their birthdays, in 3 years' time, we will have 20 million jack trees, 20 million coconut trees, and also 20 million mango trees. If you have 20 million jack trees and a coconut tree, how can somebody starve? Suppose that you don't have your own land. Why don't you grow that one in government land? Because what I did was, Honorable Secretary is here, and I used their land and I grow trees there. And the union came and tried to fight with me. I said, how can you fight with it? It's not your land, it's everybody's land. And when the fruit comes, anybody can go there and enjoy. Today we have coconuts coming on the railway land, and we have mangoes in the railway land. And this railway land, empty land, so somebody can, even a bird can eat it. So Sri Lanka is so blessed. Like if you do that one, we can't starve. If we have 1 or 2 solar panels, we can't go without power. If you have 3 solar panels and a motor and a battery, you can go A to B. It takes a little bit more time, but you can go there. So my advice is like hydrogen. I just jump into more than the hydrogen, but hydrogen is another extremely good source for us to make money than the Middle Eastern guys making money. We can actually, if you do the hydrogen plants, we can make the hydrogen energy here, and we can export it better than anybody else. So I think with what we are doing, and if we can get the hydrogen fuel cell price down within the next 2-3 years or so, I think we also have another lucrative business as well.
Thank you.